And that's why, what you were asking me about the banking system. I'm a student at Buckminster Fuller. He wrote a book called The Grunch of Giants, Grunch, came out in 84, I believe. And Grunch stands for Gross Universal Cash Heist. So I'm reading Fuller. I was a student of Fuller. He's considered one of the greatest academic minds of our time. He's probably a Marxist himself, but I like his ideas. And Grunch stands for Gross Universal Cash Heist, how our wealth is stolen via our money. So that affected Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because I said, savers are losers. Your house is not an asset. Why don't they have financial education in our schools? Is that a mistake?
No, it's not. I've gone pretty deep on this recently. Between listening to you and our friend Dr. Bruce Lipton, I mean, it all links up and it all comes together. How about Gad Saad, man? That boy is on it. Oh yeah. So I had Dr. Gad Saad on the show last week, and yeah, he was really on it. And
oh man,
it's great because he kind of walks this interesting line where he's a professor at a university that's basically, I joke to him, your university is shadow banning you. And he's like, yeah, they are. But he walks a fine line. He's got a great personality, which maybe allows him to kind of poke fun and make his points. But yeah, I mean, he understands the problems with academia. My daughter just went to school in Boston. So I asked him advice, like, how do I make sure she doesn't get indoctrinated? And we had a long conversation about this. So yeah, you'll love that episode.
What did he say? Because let me tell you something. When they infect your brain, you're screwed. The love of money is the root of all evil. I'm going, give me a break. Give me a break. Why don't they teach us about money instead? What about the ignorance of money? What's that costing us? What happens when you have a criminal like this guy Biden in charge of the U.S. government? How can the guy open the southern border, let 4.9 million people stream across with fentanyl and drugs and sex and all this stuff? And then we wonder why our homelessness goes up. Well, maybe it's because our drug problem is going up, you idiots. And how come San Francisco, the most beautiful city on earth at one time, has now you got to watch where you step because there's human feces all over the place. And that's what happens when you're a liberal Marxist commie pinko. It makes me sick. And people, oh, let's defund the police. I said, you want to defund the police? Knock yourself out. It's crazy. It's nuts what we're teaching.
It's nuts to watch what's happening over there. I mean, you mentioned this a couple times. I'm going to ask you, your good friend Trump is running for election. There's all this talk of them trying to arrest him and indict him. And then, of course, obviously, Ron DeSantis is running as well. What do you make of the whole situation? Well, with Trump and the arrest, what do you make of all that? And what are their chances against Biden?
Well, talk about a media savvy guy, huh? Trump. Is that boy media savvy? He tells the world they're going to arrest me. If they arrest him, he's president. You know what I mean?
Elon tweeted that the other day, and it was the first time I saw it in black and white, and I was like, that's a really good point. And Trump was like, I'm not going in the back door. You got to cuff me and stuff me and walk me down the front. And
he'll do a perp walk.
Yeah, that's very media savvy because most people would think that's political suicide, but he knows better.
No, he knows. And America right now is on edge, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it looks like
most of us, there's about 30% of us who really hate what's going on. And the other people want to send their kids to school to become communists. It makes no sense to me. And look at student loan debt, Brian. The most onerous type of debt possible. Who brought that to us? Oh, Barack Obama. You know what I mean? And, Barack is the only reason Biden is there is because he's holding position for Michelle Obama to become the first black female president. Oh my God. Romania looks pretty good to me today.
Do you think Trump's going to win?
I'd vote for him. The trouble with Trump, he and I have the same problem. Open mouth, insert foot.
What do you think of Ron DeSantis? I saw an interview with him the other night on Piers Morgan, and I like him.
Yeah, I know by a little because Don's two sons, Don Jr. and Eric Trump, we're good friends because we're politically incorrect hunters. We go to Africa all the time together. I've spent days on a tropical island with those two boys. No running water, no toilets, no food. You get to know two young men very well. They're definitely not Hunter Biden. You know what I mean? They're great young men. I mean, they're fabulous young men. So I said, why doesn't your father and DeSantis just join teams? So Trump's got 4 more years. DeSantis has 8. That's 12 years we take back control of our country. And as you know, the Donald will open his mouth again and insert and he's got a big foot. He'll keep inserting it. But that's why people love him. Do you know what I mean? They love him and for it.
That's the thing. Sometimes you need a bit of that, and he makes waves in the media, and sometimes that can be a good thing. So it's going to be interesting to watch. That's for sure. Robert, I was wondering if you've seen that some of the people in crypto are calling this like Operation Choke Point. And it seems like the America and the Fed and the SEC is really trying to crack down on crypto. They seem to be doing it in Europe, and then they're talking about this CBDC coming out as a form of Fed Now in July. Robert, you were one of the first guys 2 years ago to warn me that, you called it at the time, Fed coin was coming. What are your thoughts on that, and why do we need to be concerned about that? And do you think that's what's happening? They're pushing the crypto down to bring the Fed coin in?
Well, as we started our conversation, it's centralized banking.
Right.
It's centralized money. It's money controlled by the government. Not that it's not already controlled by them, but from what I'm not really good, I'm not very tech savvy, but it's surveillance. They can control what you spend on, who you spend it with, what you're doing with it. So, for years, and I can say Brian's been on my side for a long time, I've been saying buy silver. I was on Neil Cavuto for years now on Fox. I keep saying buy silver. And the reason for that, this is real money, and this is gold, which is real money. And so it's my self-defense against the Fed coin or crypto or the Chinese yuan, is that I can go anywhere in the world with this little silver dollar here, and I can spend it without being traced. Is that illegal? Well, they may make it illegal, but for right now, I can fly to London, I can fly to Romania, I can fly to China, and they'll accept this, and they'll definitely accept this here. So I'm doing everything possible to say, not do anything illegal. Please don't do that, because I don't want to go to jail and, dance to hula for some guy. But I want to get off of any kind of centralized government, centralized banking, and centralized money. That's my objective at this stage of my life.
Small ebook, big impact, The Wealth Tree. The only 4 ways that will make you financially free forever. Download it here for free.